Hi, this is Ginny Eckley, and I'm really excited to show you some techniques using Colorhue dye today. So first let me explain a few different materials that you'll need to start. So gloves for starters. I use disposable ones, but of course any kind of plastic gloves will do. And then I love these foam brushes. The neat thing about the foam brushes is they prevent streaking, and they come in various sizes. So depending on the size of your project, but you do want at least one color, just one brush just for water, and then one brush for every color that you're going to use. And I also use containers of water. I have two containers of water, one that I use to mix my colors with and one that I use to pre-wet the fabric with. Then I love these small containers that you can find at the grocery stores. They hold the dye, and then if you don't use all the dye, you can easily just close it, and with a tight lid on there, it keeps the dye ready for your next use. So I've mixed up 3 colors, and I'm going to use those on the fabric. The first thing I'm going to do is coat my fabric with water. So this technique is about putting plastic in a tray, and then you're putting your fabric on top of that. So in this case, I have a tray, and I've taken wrinkled plastic, and this is just a real sheer plastic. And so I've wrinkled it all up, and then I've taped it in the corner so it'll stay in place. Then I'm taking my fabric, and in this case, I'm using silk. So this dye works with silk, linen, rayon, and wool. And I'm taking my silk and I'm laying it on top of my wrinkled plastic. Then one thing I love to do is I'll take a scrap of that same silk that I'm using to dye with, and I'll test all my colors. And once I just dip it in my container, then I take a piece of tape and tape it to the top of the lid, and that way I know what color it's going to be when I close it up. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is just take water, and I'm just evenly stroking water. And what this does is, number one, it keeps my dyes from streaking, but number two, I start to pick up some of the really neat patterns from the plastic. It also helps just to keep it in place as I'm putting the colors on there. So again, this is electric blue, and as I put it on, you'll start to see some of the beautiful patterns that it makes. Then the other thing I can do is just mix colors. So this time I'm adding turquoise. So if you want to create a color like purple, instead of mixing it on with 2 different colors like red and blue and putting it on the fabric, instead you want to go ahead and mix it in the container and get the color you want and brush that color on. The dyes pick up the pattern so quickly that there's not a lot of time for them to blend. So if you don't like the color, the neat thing is you can just come back over and change it, brush another color over it. So if you have a fabric like silk charmeuse that has a satiny side, you want to put the satiny shiny side, which is the right side, down on the fabric, and the wrong side of the fabric looking up at you, because the side that's touching the plastic is the side that's going to be the most intense. So the dyes are going down into the plastic, and they're going to pick up all these beautiful patterns. So you see I have kind of a rainbow of blues and turquoises and greens here. And again, you can come in and make sections darker just by adding another layer of dye. So I let that dry for about 3 hours, and again, the side that's touching the plastic will be darker. This is a neat example of one that I did just with blue and turquoise. Picks up the beautiful colors of the dye. So besides the wrinkled plastic, the other things you can use is bubble pack. So this is the small bubble pack, which works great. And here's a sample of one with the small bubble pack. And then You can use, of course, the larger bubble pack like so, and this is a neat example of a large bubble pack. So, and here's another one in blue. So the funny thing is, if you're doing it, typically the side facing you is going to look really dull, but then once you turn it over, the side touching the plastic is much brighter. So hope you enjoy using Colorhue dye. It's really a lot of fun, and I know you'll enjoy trying this process. Thank you. Bye-bye.